Claressa Shields wants to fight men still. Oh, brother.
That's not going to happen because I've been hit on my chin. I've been hit in my stomach. I've been hit by professional men boxers.
With or without headgear. In the original thing, you didn't say sparring. You said you can beat Rolly. It wasn't until later that you said sparring. So the question is not...
Well, that's the only way that we can fight. If it's a sparring, when have you seen a woman versus a man? I haven't seen it.
So what are we talking? You said you could beat Rolly in a fight, not sparring. Sparring came along later. We played the clip. Do we need to replay the clip?
So you talking about up in a real fight?
Yeah.
With my boxing pedigree, with my height, my jab, my skills, I can beat Rolly in a boxing match. And that's just what it is.
Oh, you think you can beat Rolly actually in a fight?
A boxing match, absolutely. You were talking about sparring, sure. But even under the rules of, you want to say 2 minutes, 12 rounds, 2 minutes, 10 rounds, whatever you want to call it. Bruh, I had better boxing
skills. What size glove?
Yes. Oh. 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 Oh.
You should have known. Oh.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Eagle Unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Claressa Shields. Fight week. Man, oh man. It's like she just don't get it. Claressa Shields back at it again, talking about fighting men. Yes, that's right. Talking about fighting men. My thing is this, when it comes to Claressa Shields. Sometimes she'll go dormant and she'll fall back for a minute. And you're like, good. Yeah, this is what you need. Give me some more of that. Give me some more. Give me some more. But then out of nowhere, she will like come back almost worse than before, right? I thought we were over Claressa Shields talking about fighting men, right? Because if you think about it, her relationship with Papoose kind of took the forefront of the conversation. And it appeared, at least to me, that those conversations had died down. These days, more often, you're ultimately hearing Claressa Shields talk about Papoose and, oh, I love him and he loved me more than, like, so I thought we were right there. But no, I was wrong. You know, it's like that dude, the dude that was on the stage, we gonna remix that. The dude that was like, I don't want to fight men's no more. I am delivered. Delivered. I thought Claressa Shields was delivered from wanting to fight men's, aka men, right? I thought this talk was done, but I see I was oh so wrong. You see right there, Claressa claims she could beat welterweight champ Rolly Romero. And the funny thing is, DAZN is the platform and broadcaster for her upcoming fight, right? And they just posted this. Even though this was from an older interview, they're posting it. So to me, they know Claressa is engagement farming, and that's why they're posting it, because they know the fans gonna be typing away, blowing up them comments. Play the clip.
What I will say is, with my boxing pedigree, with my height, my jab, my skills, I can beat Rolly in a boxing match. And that's just what it is.
Oh, you think you can beat Rolly actually in a fight?
A boxing match, absolutely. You were talking about sparring, sure. But even under the rules of, you want to say 2 minutes, 12 rounds, 2 minutes, 10 rounds, whatever you want to call it. Bruh, I had better boxing skills.
What size gloves?
What size gloves? Do you not see this face? I don't even get hit. Does it matter?
No,
what are we talking about? What What are we talking about? I fought Franchina and got 1 stitch, and it wasn't from her punch. It was from her thing on her glove. She kept pressing against my face. What I will say is, with my boxing pedigree.
No. Stop it. Stop it. What is wrong with her? What is wrong with you? First of all, I don't know if it's from taking punches to the head, but Claressa Shields, she's not a good interview, right? It's like she's so busy in her mind, she don't really be answering the questions, right? Like you watch the Cam Newton interview and Cam will ask her something and then her response really doesn't satisfy the question. And if you pay attention, rewind, Max Kellerman said, "What size gloves?" And then she was like, "What size gloves? Does it matter? I barely get punched." You could have just said the size gloves you want to fight him at. You know what I mean? What does you barely get punched have to do with the glove size? Are you talking 8-ounce gloves, 10-ounce gloves? Like, what are you talking about? So she never really answers the question, especially questions where, you know, in your heart, deep down inside, she was creeping with Papoose. She's never specific. That's why no one asked her about her ex-fiance, Tony Rich, and how that ended for the Papoose business to start and how the timelines overlap. That's why they don't really ask her about Maserati Bud. Remember, that was a whole storyline. And then she's doing all these new Ricky Smileys and Cam Newton. They act like Maserati Bud never existed. Like, I don't even hear no Maserati Bud conversation. So, very weird. Now, about her fighting men. Oh my goodness, man. She just sounds delusional. Very deluded. That's my honest opinion. We unpacked. Very delusional, right? If you pay attention, see, again, I'm not a gossip or tea channel. No offense to them. I'm a boxing channel. So with that being said, this is about boxing for me. And this girl ain't making boxing look good. But she said something that was very interesting. She said, "I can beat Rolly in a boxing match."
Beat Rolly in a boxing match. And that's just what it is.
Oh, you think you can beat Rolly?
And that's just what it is. But pay attention.
Rolly actually in a fight.
A boxing match, absolutely. You were talking about sparring, sure. But even under the rules of, you want to say 2 minutes, 12 rounds, 2 minutes, 10 rounds, whatever you want to call it.
Men's boxing is 3-minute rounds. 3. She said, I can beat him. Let's say 2-minute rounds, 10 rounds. Men's boxing for a championship fight. And as of the recording of this video, Rolando Romero is a champion. So it would be 3-minute rounds, not 2. And it would be a 12-rounder, not 10. So this is what the game she's playing. You can't say, I'm a woman and I'll beat a man, but then you don't want to fight in men's competition rules, in the rule set, right? You want it softened, right? Nah, use the regular glove size that Rolly would have to wear, that Gervonta Davis would have to wear in that weight division. Don't try to shorten the rounds and take a minute off. Fight the full 3-minute rounds, because when Rolly fights Teofimo Lopez in a week or so after her fight, they're going to fight for 3 minutes per round, right? So how do you call yourself the GWOAT, for no reason claim you could whoop a man, but then you don't want to fight how men fight with the men's actual rule set? You want to alter it. You want an alternate universe to make it easier for you. No, if you could beat up a man like another man would have to do. Not, oh, we're going to take it lightly because you're a female, so we're going to increase the glove size, shorten the rounds, shorten the time. No, because again, nobody prompted you to do this. You are the one that's you T-Rex that keep roaring and getting on these mics saying what you would do and that you could beat Keith Thurman, you would whoop Jake Paul, you would whoop Rolly. These are your words. So she's been on wax saying that. And you also look bad from a boxing stance because Rolly is about to fight at 147. You're moving down from heavyweight, so in the 170s, right, to 160. Still, 160 is bigger than 147, right? So why are you talking about fighting smaller people anyway, let alone another gender? Why do you want to fight person who's so much shorter or smaller that's a man? If you think you could whoop a man, not like, and here's the thing. If she said an everyday Joe off the couch that's a man, I could whoop him, I wouldn't even complain because she's a trained fighter and the average man is not even in shape to be boxing. So you probably could, you know what I mean? Not every man, but you know, there's going to be a gang of people you can outbox because they don't know how to box. You've trained your whole life for that. So she don't even know how to word stuff. You're not saying that. You're not saying I'll beat a dude off the couch, a lazy bum from the internet who left a mean comment. No. You're saying you can beat a professional boxer that's a man, that's been boxing all of his life. So why do you need to alter or change the rules? Why don't you want to fight somebody closer to your weight? Fight David Benavidez. He fought at 168. He fought at 175. Divisions you've been at. Fight Hamza Shiraz. He fought at that. Carlos Adames. Right? If you want to fight a man, why Rolly? Why are you picking on him? Why'd you pick on a random Keith Thurman who's been inactive and just lost? Right? Even Jake Paul, he's bigger than you, but he just started boxing. Why do you want, if you could beat a man, beat a legit man, beat Artur Beterbiev. How about that? She also has an interview where she said she thinks she can beat Gennady Golovkin. Like, come on, bro. Hell no, guys. Canelo couldn't even really beat him in his prime, not convincingly to the public. I mean, he has a win, but the public didn't feel that. You know what I mean? Curtis Stevens and all these other guys, Martin Murray couldn't beat him, but the GWOAT is supposed to beat these. It's just like, where does it end, Claressa? Where does it end? Huh? Claressa? Like where? Like when? You don't have no chill. You just got to keep talking. And my thing is this, and I'm not even going to say fear. I was going to say my fear for her, but I don't really fear. I don't have a fear because it is what it is. I let people be who they are. But what I believe is going to happen is, at this rate, Claressa fatigue is going to accelerate, and no matter how outlandish you go, people are going to be completely over it because you never switch it up. You're not switching up the cadence. You're not switching up the flow. Every interview is sounding the same. Every subject matter you talk about is the same. You have like 1 of 5 different things. Papoose and relationship, my accolades from boxing, 2 gold medals, GWOAT, this and that, Flint, and a couple more things. Rap, and this is all you do. And I can whoop a man, apparently, is still in play. So you look crazy, and I think it's going to get to the point where the downward spiral, like if like You're walking a tightrope, and people like myself have been warning you. I know I definitely said it. A small gust of wind you cannot afford because you're literally walking on a tightrope. You guys will see. Mark these videos down. So, for example, that gust of wind could be losing a fight. If you lose to anybody, toast. The amount, it'll be like when Broner, because I like Broner, but I'm talking about the public perception. There were a lot of people that thought he was too cocky, he was arrogant, he tried to be like Floyd, he was brash, he was dancing, he was throwing money up at Walmart. I'm AB. I don't need no change, bruh. Throwing up coins, flushing money down the toilet. He did a lot, when he first got on. And that didn't resonate with everybody. So when Maidana whooped him and beat him or whatever, that set him back. Claressa, at least Broner was part of the culture, walking out with Kendrick Lamar, rapping, "Hey, Pops, brush my hair. Hey, Miss Louis Bag, brush my hair." He was doing all that. The culture, a lot of people were messing with him, but not everybody. Claressa, there's just like not that many people at this point that are really rocking with how nasty she's become and her temperament and all that type of stuff. So if you break up with Papoose, these are the gusts of wind. Breaking up with Papoose, losing a fight, anything negative, getting arrested, mugshot, anything, get sued. If anything like that happens, it's going to hurt you more than other people because of how you're behaving. I certainly believe that. On everything, I believe that. And as far as this business of you whooping a man, what's this about? Like, what are you proving? Why are you doing this? And then I don't like, personally, I'm not a fan of when people say something or like make these crazy wagers, but we can never prove it. And they know that, right? They know there's no way to prove it. Like, oh, Muhammad Ali versus Mike Tyson. I mean, you can argue all day about that, but there's no way to prove prime versus prime because they're from two different generations. You can't prove who would have won. So it's just like an endless argument. Claressa knows dang well that it's not likely the commission anytime soon is going to approve her to fight Rolly. So she can go on here and say all this filth, flooring, and filth about whooping a man. Now, again, this interview got posted by DAZN, so the conversation back floating around that Claressa Shields feels she will whoop a man. This person on Twitter said Claressa Shields GWOAT saying, quote, she could beat Rolly Romero in a boxing match is just bravado. Is not to be taken serious. Women's professional boxers can beat untrained men, similar to what I just said, but not professional men's boxers. We know this already. No need to be outraged, boxing fam. Now, even though it's her fight week, guess who's seen this one tweet out of a million tweets on Twitter and decided to respond? Oh, you guessed it. Claressa the GWOAT Shields seen the tweet and just had to respond. Just had to respond. I've censored it, but she says, quote, I smoked that ninja on my mama. Thank God he blessed me with a China, right? And y'all see what that's supposed to see. She's just vulgar for no reason. Thank God he blessed me with a China. A lot of these guy boxers would be good as whooped. August 15th, I win again. Pack her up, bro. And then what's alarming to me and like laughable at this point, you literally have Charleston White, these random people come out and defend Claressa's behavior and all this goofy stuff she be doing. They conveniently never have an opinion on that. right? They'll be like, oh, if Claressa was light-skinned and y'all would treat it this way. I don't care if she was albino. Annoying is annoying. You know what I mean? Somebody constantly blabbering and saying this, and it looks like desperation to promote your fight. You're fighting K. Scott. You're fighting a woman nobody's ever really even heard of, for real, right? And she don't have a good record. No one's heard of her. She's not a big name. There were other options to me that would have been better. And you sitting up here days out from the fight, but you talking about whooping a man, but you're fighting someone with literally a 0% KO ratio. Literally, she's never as a pro knocked anybody out. Oh yeah. And to add insult to injury, she's 42 years old. So I don't want to hear about you. You could whoop a Rolly who's probably like 28 to 30 years old. We could find out real quick, right? You could whoop a youthful man, right, who only lost to Pitbull Cruz, a great fighter, and Gervonta Davis, an even greater fighter, right? He has a 76% knockout ratio, right? And it doesn't say his age, but I know Rolly personally. Speaking of, I've been in Rolly's gym, right? I've interviewed Rolly. I told you, I really do this boxing stuff, man. So with that being said, I've talked to Rolly, right? And for the record, Rolly's 30 years old, right? So been in Rolly's gym, talked to Rolly, know Rolly. And when I was in his gym interviewing him, he literally whips out his phone and he literally was showing me nonstop videos that he recorded from sparring where he was sleeping dudes. True story. Ask him. Literally. And I'm not even going to put the people on blast, but some of the fighters, where he literally has a collection of highlight reel fights that he was showing me that happened in the gym. So none of y'all are familiar unless you were in the gym that day. And he was sleeping people, knocking people out. So good luck with that. In my opinion, Rolly, if he fought you, he would decimate that jaw. That GWOAT jaw would be like meat off the bone. So you could say whatever, oh, I'm taller and all that. Bro, fight him. Say less, fight him. We still got to see how he does with Teofimo Lopez. But again, that's still a man. That's a man. You know what I mean? So I just feel like she's talking. You're just talking. You're talking about a 30-year-old man, right, with heavy hands, talking about I'll whoop him. Dang near 80% knockout ratio. I just gave you real life testimonial that Rolly showed me him knocking out a ton of people and sparring or hurting them. The video, he has the videos in his phone, and you're fighting K. Scott, 42 years old, soccer mom, and OF model with literally 0 knockouts. Even in the amateurs, K. Scott had basically between the amateurs and pros, she has 70, 80 fights. She has like 1 knockout in 70 something fights when you add her amateur record and her pro record. So to me, Claressa's unserious about fighting a man. You don't want to, because to be honest, it could be arranged. You could get a pro male fighter and then go to like Carlos Adames and then go to the DR, Dominican Republic, or Mexico or Russia or somewhere else where they probably not tripping, and you could get it rocking. But you want to use it as a promotional tactic to hype you up. And then like what she's doing is, I think, gonna backfire, because it's too foolish, right? It's too foolish. I don't know what grudge you have against Rolly, but let me show y'all something. before the Gervonta Davis fight, in the pandemic, right here, February 2022, or 2/2/2020. That was confusing. Rolly fought this guy, Arturs Maidov, right? This particular fighter, right? 6'1" with only 2 knockouts. So, per his record on paper, he don't have crazy power. He has 1 knockout, or he's been knocked out once, right? He has 2 knockouts, been knocked out once. This is the guy. Some of you may remember his face. Let me show you why. For one, again, Rolly fought him in 2020. The result, Rolly knocked him out. So his 1 loss was to Rolly Romero, who Clarissa's calling out. But the reason why some of you may have heard of the name and the face is because he has an infamous tape where he sparred Claressa Shields with headgear and he knocked her down with a check hook, or I don't even know if it's a check hook. He hit her with a hook or something, right? And had her legs in the air, right? Like a baby waiting for a diaper change. That's what happened. So not only does it look foolish, it looks foolish for the sake of the guy that you're calling out, Rolly, slept the guy that had you looking like this. Claressa. Like, he not the guy that, I understand it's a triangle theory, but you have headgear on. You're sparring, so likely you had bigger gloves on. You can't even beat the guy that Rolly beat in sparring. And then she was in such denial, she went on record saying she pulled a blade on the guy, and then she accused him of tampering with his gloves and also cheating by having gloves that were devoid of padding. Now, if that was really true, 1, you're a female, and then 2, he tried to maim you in such a way by cheating, why not file a police report or a lawsuit? Because he's potentially messing up your career if he has loaded gloves or hardened gloves or gloves that have been skinned and broken in, right? So there's been 0 proof ever shown that what Claressa claims happened actually happened. Not 1 shred of evidence that the guy only knocked you down like this because he had cheap gloves, right? And then when you look at the patterns from Claressa Shields, right? Lose the BET Awards. What does she do? Turn into the Black Karen, started complaining. Oh, man, I thought accolades matter. I mean, congrats to Angel Reese, I guess, but I just thought it mattered what you did in these accolades. Loses the BET Awards, complain. BET Awards puts a caption she don't like, complain. So for me, I see a pattern. She's a complainer. All she does is whine and complain. Alicia Bumgarner did an interview and leave that right there. Leave that alone. Why did you say that about my relationship? Because it's true and because it's America and we can speak our opinion, right? So the more I discovered about Claressa, the more I am very confident and don't believe her story about the guy cheated. Because, again, you didn't pursue it legally. You showed not any proof. This sounds like a poor sport. I think she's a poor sport, right? Jada the boxer told me, her ex-friend and boxer, that after Savannah Marshall beat her in the amateurs and she lost, she didn't shower for a week because she was depressed or whatever, right? So the fact that this man in sparring floored you and then the tape leaked because you were trash talking, he said he didn't even want to leak the tape. He didn't want to have to do you like that. But you was talking crazy, so they're like, all right, bet. And they had it, and they leaked it. And then now You mad about it. And then you were mad about it. Oh man, I ain't never been knocked down. So she thought nobody could knock her down. And then what's crazy is, from a real boxing head perspective, this dude ain't even really got no power. He has 7 fights, been knocked out once, had 2 knockouts, and a 33% knockout ratio. That is not good, comparatively speaking, to the heavy hitters like Wilder, Gervonta Davis, Benavidez, Artur Beterbiev, right? The guys like Naoya Inoue. They got crazy KO percentage and way more fights, right? Way more fights. So this dude ain't even like the biggest puncher. And then after Rolly knocked him out, he did 1 fight and retired, right? So he didn't really have much of a pro career, yet he still got Claressa breakdancing on the ground. You know what I mean? Got her doing windmills and all this. So it's like he had you break into electric boogaloo. Boom, 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 I ain't talk. I ain't talk. Like he had you with the broom. Sweep, no dancing. Boom, 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 boom. Like he got you looking crazy. Like you trying to relieve trapped gas or something. You know what I mean? And then you talking about you gonna whoop Rolly and beat male boxers up. You can't even beat Rolly's leftovers up. How you gonna whoop Rolly? So all these desperation ploy. Oh, Floyd's coming to the fight. Mayweather will be there. Kevin Gates and Shakur. It just looked desperate. You just desperate to sell. They bringing up she'll whoop a man. She not fighting a man. She fighting K. Scott. Why are you guys even letting her get away with this? And she know who to play around with, because she had a whole beef with Gervonta Davis. I haven't heard her one time say I'll whoop Gervonta Davis though. So she for real, she know what it is. You want to fight Tank's leftovers, right? In Rolly. And you can't even beat the guy that he whooped in a real fight, and that dude whooped you in sparring. You had a whole beef, and Tank called you like a French bulldog, I believe. Said she scares me. She looked like a French bulldog on Twitter. I ain't never heard her say, I'll whoop Tank though. I'll beat Gervonta Day. I'll beat the brakes off him. Tank be breaking people's jaws and noses and stuff like that. Men. So I think Claressa Shields is a bully. This is bully behavior. How come you ain't press Tank's line and say I'll whoop him and stuff like that? Tank will probably, he crazy. He from Baltimore. He might, on the avenue, we got a list too. Like, he might mess around and take the fight just to shut you up. And then the whole world afterwards will be praising him. He might be crazy enough to take it. So I don't think this is a good look. Keep bringing up men. You had a whole argument with Shannon Sharp on Nightcap, and he like, man, you not whooping no dude like that. And here's the thing. Don't be mad at me. I'm only being real. Yeah. Right? Here's the other thing. From a boxing perspective on that dead homie, you got a record of 18-0. You literally have 3 knockouts. So just like K. Scott, you don't have many knockouts. That's why they gave you K. Scott, because they probably trying to up that to 4. Your knockout percentage is 16.5, right? You got a 60. That is not good. That's like a preteen. You got a preteen knockout. Sweet 16. You got a quinceanera, right? Worth the knockouts. You could be a good boxer, but here's the thing. Now you're talking about man speed, male boxer speed, endurance, chin, power. You're not knocking out top level elite male active boxers. You're not even doing. The reason why I'm firm and don't believe that is because you can look mad as you want, Bobo Jr., but you're not even knocking out females. So how you gonna knock out? You're not knocking out females by and large in many portions of your fight. And you've been a pro since 2016. You've been a pro for 10 years, and you've amassed 3 knockouts in a decade's worth of fights. Right? A decade. You fought, and you already came in the game with a lot of experience because you're a 2-time gold medalist. So 8 years of Olympic experience. You were probably boxing a little bit before that. And then 10 years as a professional boxer, and you have 3 knockouts. So if you're not knocking out women, you're not knocking out David Benavidez and Hamza Shiraz. These people are getting punched on by Edgar Berlanga and the likes of Anthony Yarde, like big, powerful, strong other dudes, and they winning. They win in the fight. Your punches would like tickle them. So I don't know who done gassed you up or whatever and told you can hang with other pro boxers, but cut it out. Cut it out. It just sounds worse and worse. And I think it's, again, a Hail Mary desperation attempt, get people talking, and what she don't understand is this stuff is adding up and is getting people to talk. Obviously, I'm making a video about it, but I get paid to do this, so I enjoy it. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody. If you want to support the channel's growth, I got the Cash App, the Zelles, the PayPal. My link me is in the description if you want to help further the channel so we continue to grow and put out the best content, right? If not, you gain any value from my content, definitely consider liking or subscribing. So the reality is, it's cool, but this stuff is compounding. And it's just making you look bad. I don't think it's driving sales. It's just people. I guarantee you, if I go in the comment section right now, people are going to be like, she crazy. She's saying she could whoop a man, and probably ripping her to shreds. I swear my videos are not rehearsed. First comment, what do I see? The dude we just went over dropping Claressa Shields. What'd I tell you?
Yes.
Bow. Oh. Got him. First comment. I told you, I knew it. You got to stop. Rolly would F you up. And ain't this you getting dropped by a male in a sparring match? Look, they tearing her up, bro. I already knew this. I did not rehearse. In case you didn't know, this man that knocked you out, Rolly stopped this guy in 2 rounds. What the F you think is going to happen if Rolly hit you like that? And then you picking on Rolly, who's a big puncher. You didn't pick like Paulie Malignaggi. It said, get up and fight. They going crazy. Get up and fight. They talking to you like John Witherspoon. Craig, live, son. When I was your age, we used these so you can live. Put the gun down, son. Live to fight another day. Bro, they talking to you like pop, pop, bang, bang, bang. They talking about some get up, Craig. Get up, Craig. Get up, Craig. Man. I hope Rolly continues to ignore the buffoonery. Nobody cares anyway because the fight is never going to happen. Exactly what I said. Shut your dumb butt up. Worry about your fight. You ain't did no build up to your own fight. Fight someone worth fighting, ma'am. Stop worrying about these men. Good Lord, you're insane. Hope this week at promo hold up for you. See? People see the play. So you saying you're not going to get hit for 10 to 12 rounds? Laughing my butt off. Right. Love the confidence, but that ain't happening. They got Rolly right there. He would punch some sense back into you. I think you forgot there's a video you getting put on the canvas. Yeah, that's not happening. Look, they got the X from Family Feud. Stay delusional. Rolly touch you one time, it is over. She does the same thing over and over to gain traction before every fight. Look, they got Martin Lawrence fighting Tommy Hearns. Come on, bro. You getting cooked. And mind you, this is Claressa Shields' own comment section. See, this is why she be turning off the comments and blocking people and stuff, because if it's opened up and people can freely put their comments, you see what it is. I do think Rolly's trash, but he's not trash to the point where I'm not reading on that. And you calling the boxer trash, I'm good off that. Respectfully, you swing entirely too wide to ever beat someone like Rolly. You would end up, look, they got someone putting flowers over the box, the pine box. Come on. One hit from Rolly, night. Can't lie. Definitely a star. Had to catch myself. I don't know what they're saying. You're so delusional. Rolly would unalive you with a punch. Male and females aren't the same. You got chinned by some random fella in the gym. Stop chatting so much rubbish. Claressa getting dropped again. Like, come on. It's just, look at her head. Just watch her head absorb that hook. That's probably why she do all the interviews like that off of that hook. Look at that. Yeah, like, yeah, okay. See, we rock with you until you say stuff like that. I'm done. Y'all get it. I'm done. Sounds delusional, fake promo, trying to hype it. People ain't buying.